Welcome back to my channel, Shar Hart. I am Shar. I got this much done. You're gonna see the drawing part of this, the part that I actually got to film, later this week, and well, you might see it today. You might see it later. I think it's later this week, and then you're gonna see me color this. I'm not gonna share if the color is gonna be in the same video or not. But let's get started with the part that I promised. The backstory. Today is Monday. I didn't get to do it yesterday, and I said I would do it Monday, Sunday, or Monday. So we're going to get the backstory, the beginning of the backstory, not the whole backstory. The part where they start before they meet. And probably later this week, this month, or next month, you're gonna get to see them meet. I'm gonna have to do preschool before they meet because you can see the age that they are in my drawings. It's gonna be some time passing. All right, let's begin. What you see now are happy little girls full of joy and laughter as if there was never a care in the world. However, it was not always this way. To understand the fullness and reason for such extreme joy, we must go back to the beginning, back to the birth and the first meeting of these bright and almost glowing children with the biggest smiles you ever did see. Chapter 1. It's time, dear. Miss Calvin looks up from her list and the timer, her eyes light on the chart activities Mr. Calvin can often be found preoccupied with. Then her eyes shift up to the face of her well-prepared husband seated across from her in his reclinable armchair. Are the supplies already loaded into the car? The bag for baby and my outfit to freshen and redress after delivery. Don't forget your light meal items and whatever else vitamin-enriched bars or drinks we still have left from this 9-month endeavor. Mr. Calvin, still with his eyes on his charts, gives a nod and mumbles preoccupied reply. Then, with a pause, as if finalizing his review of his charts, replies with a clearer answer as he shifts his attention to his ever-organized wife. Dear, the bags were packed and the list reviewed a few days ago, just in case the baby arrived earlier than predicted. I even packed those berry-flavored vitamin B shots and hydration solutions to add to your water after the doctor and nurses allow you to begin eating and drinking. You know, dear, the ones with the tropical powdered puree of pineapple, dragon fruit, pomegranate to help you keep your blood at decent consistency and your energy up. I see you finished the shot and drinking a hydrating drink. Good. I do hope they help you put forth such demanding as you put forth such a demanding effort during childbirth. Mr. Calvin has risen and has begun assisting his wife to where he has packed the car as close as possible throughout the week. As he helps her into the vehicle, he presses a button set up to let the doctor directly know they are on their way. Who is to have everything ready for a swift travel to the delivery room and already have all monitoring equipment and pre-labs from the other day at the ready in case of an emergency. Upon arrival, the nurse has a wheelchair ready to whisk Miss Calvin off to the delivery room with Mr. Calvin close behind, a sternness set into the lines of his middle-aged face. Mr. Ostroff Calvin and Miss Colleen Calvin had planned for years and tracked the best possible conditions for fertility, both male virility and female ovulation. This, along with their health-focused journey into bringing forth a baby with the best health, anatomy, and intellectual makeup, vitamin-enriched foods, regular physical activity, the best of the classical music influences, and the timing for both of them to be their most productive in fertility, career, academic, and academically set library which is practically their home. I might do that as well. An academic library their home was practically created for. I'm going to say it the other way around. All this circled Mr. Calvin's ever preoccupied thought and marched in rhythm in the mind of Miss Calvin to distract her at the peak of birthing pains. They had refused to see the gender of the baby, planning on intellectual stimuli as the lead focus, so that gender rarely mattered in such a case. Neutral hue tones in the baby room and throughout the training and play area enforced a gender neutral environment so as not to affect the psychological development with unnecessary bright and pastel colors. As the optimal dilation for birth is observed for the baby to begin to breach, Miss Calvin reports a surge of pain and a feeling as if the child chose not to remain head down and a limb enters the cervix. The doctor will have to turn the baby before the other limb descends into the birth canal. How could this happen? Mr. and Miss Calvin all did all the checkups and all the best methods and techniques to avoid a birthing emergency. They both know the damages that could come of this and the risk to the mother in such a situation. Wait, neither were prone to panic, and they had hired the best doctors and their nurses. They looked at each other as if to confirm panic was unnecessary. The lead doctor, moving swift, grabbed the necessary tools present in the room for just such a situation. He could not afford a stain on his reputation or to cause disappointment and tragedy to this family. The lawsuit would be tremendous. A noticeable sigh a noticeable sigh fills the room, both the delivery team and the parents, as the baby slides out into the arms of the doctor, averting a disaster on all fronts. The baby's cry comes loud and clear, full of strength as they check the baby and sever the umbilical cord. It's a healthy baby girl. She is showing no signs of damage. She's not showing any signs of damage. Their obsessive, their obsessive preparations had paid off. All the controlled and careful the 9 months and to, expenditure in the 9 months toward a healthy baby as safe as possible birth. All the focus on the best and the brightest and the best trained. The start of the baby girl's intellectual journey had begun. This strong lone baby, whose future was planned down even to her name by an exhausted mother, Persia Calvin, spoken by an exhausted mother, Persian Calvin. Reduced risks, pre-organized settings, and exposure only to the best accommodations of the best learned, from friend circles to organized colleague meetings, to the doctors and, the most important, the nanny already pre-accustomed to the learning plans and routines rehearsed as time for the baby delivery approached. Even she was chosen for her known academic excellency in childhood education, readily available child and adult CPR knowledge, and child psychology as the main degree of her training and education. Just a mere 33, she had completed over 8 years of child focused learning platforms and majors. She would be young enough to entertain the child and teach her throughout infancy to preschool levels. Mr. and Miss Calvin enter the house, the netty Amora Ardent approaches and gathers the now sleeping baby, headed for the soothing room with soft smells and sounds of music and ambience. She double checks the baby is swallowed warm and in the correct position for sleep as she starts reciting the planned words and sounds to begin her early childhood learning. She softly sings the names of the colors and shapes. Pretty and pink are the flowers in the meadow. Bright and blue is the sky overhead. Section 2. Honey, we've got to get you to the hospital tonight. I already called off for the week. I had reserved this time for the birth of our first child. I wouldn't miss it for anything else in the world, says Papa Paulus Concordian. Here, Let me help you to the car. As he helps his loving wife into the car, he beams with excitement and pride at all she's gone through to reach this point. Dear, did you remember the overnight bag with baby's first things and my change of clothing? Mama Periwinkle Concordian asks, keeping a level head through the bouts of contractions. The pain of contractions happen closer together, with a growing length in how long each contraction lasts. Also, don't forget to turn off the power to electronics and lock everything up. With a pause before her doting husband responds, I want to say while I still can, I'm so glad you're here with me every step of the way. She smiles, holding back emotional tears with her feeling of relief for his company, embracing for the final hours of birth. I have everything on the list you wrote. I went down checking the list off as we moved to living room, ready to go. He gives her a reassuring smile and shows her the list, then goes back to look through the doorway one more time before driving away to the hospital where they'll finally be greeting their little one. Mama Periwinkle Concordian, which I will refer to her Mama after this section, is now at home checking through her baby's first lists and items. The baby is fast asleep for the time being, having just been fed and laid to nap in a cradle nearby. The birthing was a success with no issues and um, no emergencies. She glances at her baby's face, her eyes lighting with adoration as a smile spreads across her face. She's a pretty content little one for now, only a few days old, barely a peep the way Mama keeps checking her at every small sound. Soon Papa Paulus Concordian will be walking through the door home from his night shift at the chicken processing factory. These are hours they thought and planned hard, which would allow them to be home while their adorable baby girl was awake at home, and for when she's school age, getting off school and being greeted by one or both smiling faces. That way, there's very few, if any, days she's at home alone without someone to look after her. The two would take turns being awake a little earlier to greet having a meal and put her to bed before work. For now, Mama has her maternity leave to look after the baby girl while Dad keeps the income flowing as strong and as long as possible as the only parent working. I'm home, honey. Brought you something quick and healthy to eat. He comes around the corner from the hallway and cringes a bit, seeing the baby sound asleep. He drops his voice to a soft whisper nearly in his wife's ear before he speaks again. Got you a Cobb salad, and just in case you're still needing something more filling, I left you some of my steak and fries I got with the salad. Of course, I ate a bit of the salad. Made sure I got a bit of green in my diet. It was a huge salad with eggs, ham, bacon, shredded carrots, sliced tomatoes, blue cheese salad dressing. So glad we like the same things. Makes it easy to guess how much to get. He pauses, waiting for his wife's response as she receives the meal with a smell wafting into the bedroom. How's Penelope, our sweet baby girl, been today? His eyes nearly shining with their own light twinkling as a huge grin frames his lower face. Mama beckons to her husband, breaking his trance and pulling his eyes away from Penelope's face. As they reach the kitchen down the hall a short way, standing at the counter's prep station near the sink, Mama turns on the baby monitor and turns to face her husband, her tired face breaking into a bright smile as though reflecting in sunlight streaming into the kitchen window, eyes lighting as though they just met on their first date. Thank you very much, dear. This smells divine. especially after having a quick cold sandwich with lettuce, sliced turkey, and sliced tomatoes with a cheese slice. Not a bad taste, but gets old after a few days. Trying to keep to a sort of schedule to keep her fed dry and get a short nap myself between organizing and packing all of this from our baby shower. Makes me wish I had known to search through everything before the baby's birth and at least put away the diapers, the onesies, the baby cloths, and towels with the bibs. She looked at the meal and begins to eat in large bites with one glance over her shoulder as if someone might try to get her food before she's finished. Papa Concordian, which will be referred to as Papa from now on, also glances in the direction he saw his wife look. Hey, hon, you can go ahead and eat, take your bath, and rest a bit. I'll watch over Penelope while she's sleeping, and I have a bottle of your milk ready to warm if needed be. I'll turn on her soothing sounds so she won't hear the busyness as you get ready for tonight. He leans and kisses his wife's forehead as he heads to the bedroom to where the cradle is near the cushioned rocking armchair. He turns on the soothing sounds and begins to sing softly. My lovely flower of pale pink to orange cream, growing with strength despite the cold of fall and winter scenes. That concludes the beginning of the background story, everybody. I'm working on the part where we move from infancy to preschool. It will probably take me a couple weeks because I'm also moving. So stay with me, stay in tune. I will be doing some coloring in between so that I'll still be posting things. This is the final scene. Here you have Persian Calvin. Did I remember to put? Yeah, I mentioned her name in the story. And here you have Penelope Concordian. And you have the different situations. Mama's handing the baby over to the nurse here, which I try to do feminine hands. Hands are hard to draw. Looks like her daddy's asking for her. And she's sitting in a chair handing the baby off. And here the mama's rocking the baby as daddy gets ready to ask her to take a break when he takes over. Thanks for watching. I will have this video coloring this later this week. If not by Thursday, then by Saturday. Stay tuned and bye-bye. 15 days tall kid to the house, and the mom comes out. White lady comes out and says, "What's up?" Okay, I did run out of some space. Thought I made enough space, but this video just correcting this part that I was filming took 37 minutes. So they're gonna see a lot of chopping in the editing. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and pause this, fix the shoulders and stuff, and start on this side so you can see the beginning of this before I run out of more space. Try to leave it. I almost forgot. You can see me drawing the next baby. She's in a different position because she's not being handed over. She's going to be scrunched into mom's arms. Anyway. This mama has a slightly different build. She's holding the baby. This is the rock the baby. This hand would come around. Oh yeah, the hand would come around here. It'll be a little awkward for me because I haven't drawn these positions before. She just be bigger. Have your arm there. You wouldn't see it like that. See it here. Arm come down. Come out like this. And once the blanket would be hanging down. See if I want to do that. It would be hidden by the blanket. My hand's hidden by the blanket. I'll take some of this off of it. Bring it closer. There we go. Blanket's hanging down. A little lump of the baby. Just a bit of the bump of the baby. Here. Let's see. I want to make it look like she's rocking. Guess I'll put hand here. She has long hair. Her hair will come down her shoulder. Angle is not right, but head, chin. Okay, now get the face. There we go. be further over this way. That's the right angle, but not the right position on the paper. Try not to smear too much of the pencil. Maybe I had it right. Oh, move it this way. Come up here. Face. Chin. In this case, her ear would show here. And her hair. Right down a little bit. Come out behind her ear. Come down like this. Now, we got it right. Bring it up over her head. Her hair on this side, you would see it, but not all the way. Come down here. Go back around her neck. There we go. Just look it slightly down. But you really want to see. Maybe we can start here. Some will come down here because she's looking down. I wasn't really going to have that much of the face showing, but It happens. Let me get her profile before we mess it up. Try to make her, she's got curly hair at the end of her straight hair. Or at least wavy hair.